Hold
Okay, it's
on.
time to get into stupid. Are you ready?
Into ignorance. There's a
Ignorance.
difference.
Sorry. I
No
don't mean to say
worries.
stupid. Trying to be funny, but ignorance is more of a serious
Yeah, I
topic.
mean, ignorance is stupid. Okay, so ignorance is to weak what stupid is to lazy. Okay, you're stupid because you're too lazy to get smart about something, and ignorance is just weak.
Wow.
You're just weak,
I feel like I just learned something.
right?
Okay.
So I have no problem saying I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant about a lot of things, but I'm not stupid about those things. I'm willing to put out the work. So I'll put the work in. I'm not lazy. I will put the effort in to learn something. So anyway, so
Oh, la-di-da.
nothing.
Aren't you wonderful? You should get an A.
Well, wait. So if someone says you're ignorant about something, that's not an insult, right? That's
True.
not an
It
insult,
truly means lack of knowledge or
right? That's all that
not
means.
really
It does,
informed.
right. But when someone calls you stupid, that's different, right? They're real. That is an insult.
That means you have a little drip of drool coming out of your mouth there.
Yeah. All right,
All
so
right.
we want to talk about the. So I want to talk. We were going to talk about this on the last one, but it got so long, and this is a big part, a huge part of guns, is how ignorant everyone is. So I want to go back to food again, strangely enough, and the I don't. I think when we talked about carnivore, we I said I wanted to understand how we could be so ignorant about what is truly healthy food for us. Like, I never thought about nutrition for a very long time because I always thought, shit, I mean, how do we not? We've been, humans been around for, tens of, hundreds of thousands of years.
That's so funny we
How do,
think differently about that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
So
2000, dude, 2000.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
like
right.
billions.
So, so no, it's, humans as we know us, hundreds of thousands of years, right? So, um, how do we not know what to eat, right? Animals even know what to eat. So, and I realized that what had happened was we've been off the farm for like what, 4 generations maybe, right? It didn't take very many generations before we just as a society lost track of how is our food made. And so, yeah, now we're ignorant. We don't even know. Like, well, how do you get food? Well, you ask any kid, hey, how do you get food? Right? Well, a couple hundred years ago, a kid would go, well, you have to, grow it or raise it. And they would tell you how that is done because they grew up in that world. Today, what world do we grow up in? Kids will tell you, well, you go to the store and get food, or you go to the restaurant and get food.
I've even heard
That's all we
about
know.
some kids who don't even realize it starts at the farm and then worked its way to the store.
Right, that's what I mean. They only know that's the source. To them, the restaurant or the store, the supermarket, those are the sources of food. Okay, so why are we ignorant about guns? Okay, we're ignorant about guns. Most people who are ignorant about guns live in the big city. Okay, they don't live in the country. They don't live out in the wilderness in any way, shape, or form. Okay, they're living in society. Okay,
Well, I don't
and
know. So you're saying that in the country they're more educated or
I
they're
would
more
say
informed?
far more educated
Okay.
than the big cities. Okay. Everyone in the big city, they, okay. So I don't want to go, there's too much here. So let me just start with that. Why are we ignorant? We're ignorant because we're not around them enough. We used to, when we were kids, you know, um, we had BB guns. Like how many kids today do you know has a BB gun? I don't know any kid who has a BB gun,
Just the Red Rider one and Christmas
right?
Story. That's
It'll
it.
shoot your eye out, right? There's nobody. But look how far back that was the 40s. That was the 40s, right?
Yeah.
We grew up in the 60s and 70s. Okay. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse to where gun safety and those kinds of skills, hunting, all of that stuff, we've sort of given that up. And that's why we're ignorant about them. And that's why when someone asks us our opinion about guns, we say stupid things. Okay? I said dumb things about guns a large portion of my life. Even though I shot guns before, I just like, oh, you don't need a this or who needs a that. And so that's another thing. Who needs a gun?
Wait.
Like,
So there
what
was
do
a
you
time where
need?
you were against guns?
Not against them, but I was like, I don't need a gun. What do I need a gun for?
That's
Nobody
kind of like
needs a
Jim,
gun.
right?
Yeah, our brother. Yeah, yeah. Nobody needs a gun, right? Well, I was completely 100% wrong about that. And let me explain why.
Well, wouldn't you say it was a sign of the times? You probably didn't at
No,
that time.
no, nope, nope.
Okay.
Always, always. You always needed one. Life has been fairly safe, relatively speaking, okay? Especially where I live. So where I've lived, it's been pretty safe. There are places in this country where things aren't safe at all. There are times I've been, like in LA, at night, late at night. I used to work on Hollywood Boulevard, not on the boulevard, but the building was on
That wasn't
Highland
you at the
that I
corner
worked on.
of Hollywood and
No, it
Vine?
wasn't me. Only when
Okay.
I was walking to my car. So Hollywood and Highland, there was a building there I used to work in, and I'd come out late at night sometimes when we were working late on something and walk to my car. And yeah, and I'd come out sometimes, and there was a candle once. Somebody had been shot there the night before and died. So yeah, I've been in unsafe areas before, but I always felt safe. Now, feeling safe and being safe are two completely different things. So what? So then I never thought about security because I didn't feel like I had to think about security till after the pandemic. Um, but if I had thought about security, and you asked me this question, what's your security plan? Well, what do you mean? What's my security plan? Well, what's your plan? When somebody comes in, breaks in your house, well, who's going to come and break in my house? Like, this is the conversation I'm having with myself in the past, right? So, well, what do you mean? Like, no one's going to come into my, well, that can happen. It happens. Yeah, but not in my neighborhood, right? It doesn't happen here, right? Yeah, but let's just say it does. What if it did? Well, it's not going to. Well, just pretend. All right, fine. What's your
Okay. Did
plan?
your wife hear
What
this
is your
conversation
plan?
going on between you and you?
No, because then she'd have me taken away. But then okay, so what's your plan? What's your plan? Okay, well, I don't know. I would just call 911. That would be my plan. Well, are you aware past you that 911, you call 911, it's going to take some time. Well, yeah, that's true, but it's going to take them a while. But yeah, but that's okay. The police are right down the hill here where we live, so they're close and they'll get here. And it's like, okay, but do you also realize that they don't have to ever come when you call 911 by law? There's no
Uh,
law saying they have to come.
I'm sorry, what?
You call 911, they don't have to come. They don't.
Who says that?
There's a Supreme Court decision that says that they are not obligated. The police aren't obligated to protect you. That's your
Really?
backup plan. That is your backup plan. Yes, that is your backup plan. And they don't have to come.
So they can just
Look
sit
at,
at the station eating donuts, sipping coffee, and
they can decide
take.
not to come, and you can't do anything about it. There's no law. You can't sue them. There's no ramifications for that because they
Ooh,
have
I never
no
knew that.
obligation.
Everybody's
Yeah.
writing that down.
Look, 911, that's your backup plan. You're screwed. That's been my backup plan. Okay. So that's a big deal. That's a huge part of my ignorance of not realizing that. Oh my
Oh,
God,
everybody's
it's
ignorance, not just
right.
yours.
No, I know most
I
people,
didn't
and
know
they're
that.
and but those two things are two things that we all do. We go, well, it hasn't happened to me, so it probably won't happen to me. That's the first thing, right? So let me ask you this: do you put your seatbelt um, on when you get in your car? Do you?
Yep, every time.
Okay, right. Are you? Why? Why would you do that? Are you expecting to be in an accident every time you get? Or do you just put your seatbelt on when you get on the freeway or when you start driving fast?
No,
No, you put your
all the
seatbelt
time.
on all the time. Why? I even put my seatbelt on in the parking lot. even if I'm just backing my car out in a parking lot. Why? Because mom got into a disabling car accident in a parking lot. We were in the car, remember?
Wait, no, I don't. I was too little.
What? You don't remember that accident?
No,
Were you that little?
wait. I remember you telling me, but I don't remember
Wait, I
being there.
was I was 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm
So
five
that would
years
mean you're
younger
like,
than you.
holy shit, you're like 3. Yeah, you're right. You
Yeah,
don't remember it.
there's no
Okay.
way.
Okay. We were stopped in a parking lot waiting, and we got rear-ended in a parking lot. And mom didn't have her seatbelt on because no one wore seatbelts back then. And that's how she got disabled.
Wait. If I remember correctly, Mom's 64 Comet had no backseat belts.
No, they did. They did.
They,
She just tucked them into the seats. They got tucked into the seats
but
so
some
that you didn't see
cars,
them.
all cars got belts.
Back then they had them. Moms had seatbelts, but they were
They
tucked
still
in.
don't put them on school buses.
I know it's ridiculous, but here's the
It's so
deal. Okay, I
stupid.
don't want to get off subject. Here's the deal. You still wear a seatbelt every time you get in your car. Why? Because something might happen. When's the last time you were in a car accident, Jack?
Um, I think a paraplegic hit my truck on the
Yeah, how long
freeway.
ago? How long
Oh
ago?
gosh, years. It was
How old were you?
probably I was in my 20s, maybe.
Right. Okay, so 40 years ago, you were in a car accident and you still, to this day, put your seatbelt on,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
Okay. Same reason, same logic as to why you should carry a gun in public. That's the same logic. It's
Interesting.
never happened to me. It's never happened to me. Well, maybe you've never been in a car accident, but you still put your seatbelt on, don't you? I've never fallen off my bike and landed on my head. Okay. People still wear helmets, still wear helmets.
Well, I
So,
still worry about my son, but he's never gone off and got killed or anything. So we continue to do
yes,
these things
yes,
because
because
it
it
could.
can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen. So the whole excuse that I've used most of my life of, well, it hasn't happened to me, so it probably won't, and my neighborhood's pretty safe, so blah blah blah. You don't know how safe your neighborhood is or how
Don't you
dangerous it
love
is unless you look into it.
the invincibility thought process?
Yes,
As you
yes,
get
it's
older, you're not
denial.
invincible.
It's denial. It's denial. Okay, that's what it is, and so that's the first thing. So let's be, you might say, well, I'm morally against guns. Okay. Because, okay, so let me just explain to you how you cannot live in this country and be morally against guns. Okay. You can leave this country, you can go live as a complete hermit and be morally against guns all you want. Good luck finding someplace that guns aren't and aren't used to protect the sovereignty of a nation. But you outsource your guns, right? So what are you doing? What are you doing? What's your backup plan if something goes wrong? Your backup plan is to call someone, 911 them, to bring what? A feather duster? No, a gun. You want that cop come into your door with a gun. So you're just outsourcing your gun violence. Okay. So you can't, no one can sit in this country, no one, not a single person, and be all high and mighty about, oh, I'm against guns. They're terrible and blah, blah, blah. You're outsourcing your gun. Everyone does.
They just rent a cop, bringing
You're,
in the
you're just
gun.
one level removed from a gun, right? That gun is
True.
going to be fired. That gun is going to be fired because you called 911. You're indirectly firing that gun, okay, at whoever's in your home. You're indirectly calling for a gun to be fired on that individual, whether you're pulling the trigger or you're pressing buttons on your smartphone. You're causing that to occur. Don't call 911 if you're against it. Let that person come in, rape you, rob you, kill you, whatever, if you're so morally against it. That's a huge problem I have with people who act all high and mighty. And it's usually young people who don't know anything about the world, who haven't lived life, that you'll hear talking about guns in that way.
I always said if somebody's raping your child, oh, sorry. I'll have to cut that out. But anyway, if somebody is hurting your child, you would definitely use a gun.
Yeah, of course,
I don't know
of course.
anybody on the face of the earth that wouldn't.
Oh, I'm sure there are people who say they wouldn't. It's easy to say, "Oh, I wouldn't."
Yeah.
I'm,
Then give me the
no.
gun. They're like, nope, they're going to use it.
Don't call 911 then. Don't call 911. Don't do anything, right? Because basically that's what you're doing. You're one level removed. So you're outsourcing your gun. So don't act all high and mighty. So that's another problem now I wasn't that person. I was never that person like, oh, I don't want to shoot a gun. None of that. I was never that person. But there are plenty of people who do that. You're in denial. Okay. You're in denial. You think that 911 is going to save you? It's not necessarily. Your plan was that they brought a gun, not a feather duster, right? Not a camera. You're calling for guns to be brought into your home to protect you. Everyone relies on a gun for protection. Everyone. Okay. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Imagine
Yeah.
somebody calls 911 and the cops show up with a feather duster. Wait, who am I
Right?
going to dust?
Wait. Exactly.
Could
Where's
you
the dust?
imagine? They'd be going, where's your gun? That feather
Right.
dust ain't going to do
Right.
anything.
Right. Everyone's safety is dependent on a gun, whether it's in your hands or someone else's. Okay. So don't talk to me about guns. By the way, I go to training more than the cops train. I train more than the cops. So
Well, how
don't
much
tell
did the
me,
cops
well,
train?
the cops are professional. I don't know, but cops train me. People who used to be cops or military people, that's who I get trained by. Okay.
Oh,
They train me. And you could say, well, the cops have a gun. They're professionals. Yeah, I go to training probably 10 to 20 times more than cops go to training. Okay. So I don't want to hear they're the professionals. They're not. They're just getting paid. So anyway, there's that.
oh, well, that got dropped out of nowhere, huh? That
Yeah,
just boom.
it did. Yeah, just mic drop that. Okay, so that I have a problem when people say, well, no one needs another ignorant area of ignorance. No one needs a weapon of war, or no one needs this or that. Look, there's any gun can kill. Okay, there's lots of things that can kill that aren't guns, but guns are primarily for killing. They were made for killing. Okay, but it's how you use it or why you're using it. Using it in self-defense, that's totally justifiable and completely moral. Um, you can use it for target practicing, right? And you can certainly train with them and all. And they can be used recreationally, completely that way, or hunting to provide food for your family. So absolutely. So there are lots of things, but every gun can kill. Okay, you have to consider that. I have a problem with people who say things like that. Well, you don't need a weapon of war. Like what? What? A handgun is a weapon of war. Sorry. Have you ever noticed that if you ever watch war movies, they have pistols on their side. They have a rifle and a pistol, right? And you use one in different situations as opposed to using the other. Or So here's the thing. Another level of ignorance. Okay, assault weapons. Okay, so now I want to get to assault weapons. There's no such thing as an assault weapon. Every weapon is used to assault. A knife, a billy club, a baseball bat, if you're using it as a weapon, a hammer, they're all assault weapons. It's redundant. Okay, every weapon that you use against another person you're assaulting them. There's no two ways about it. That's it. So
Yeah, that's
there's
kind of
no like
interesting. Where's the line for that?
it's okay. I'll tell you what the line is. The line, and I was guilty of this ignorance too. The line is when you see a gun that looks like something you've seen in a war movie. That's it. It looks big and scary, right? It's got all these kind of scary attachments to it that look warlike that you might see in the war. That's it. That's what we look at and go, oh my God, that's an assault rifle. And an AR-15, the AR doesn't stand for assault rifle. Another thing I didn't know. It doesn't. It's the initials of the company. It has nothing. It's not
Wait,
AR
wait,
assault
wait.
rifle 15.
I thought it was automatic rifle.
Nope. It's I don't even remember the name of the company because I'm terrible with names. But you can look up the name of the company
Are
who
you
originated that
serious?
system. It's not assault rifle.
I
It's
learned
not
so
automatic
much in
rifle.
this
It
video.
is not. It is not. So that I didn't know. Okay. And then it's like, well, assault rifles are killing our children. Oh God. Okay, so that's another thing, right? More people die from hammers than assault rifles. Okay, more people die from hammers.
Did you look that up? Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah, seriously, seriously.
Oh my
Go look it up.
goodness.
Now, here's
Wow.
the other thing. Here's the other thing. Now that I've given you that stat, stats lie. Okay, people will say all kinds of shit, and they're going to lie to you, especially if they're against the gun that they're trying to get rid of. They're going to lie to you. Okay, and here's how they do it. Did you know, Jack, that the number one killer of our children are guns now? Okay. Did you also know that they had to include 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds in that statistic? Right? That's it to say that, right? That's it. They had to include, those aren't children. If you can vote, if you can get drafted, you're not a child.
I love how they
You're not a
massage
child.
something until it says what they needed to
What they
say.
wanted to say.
Yeah.
And then they don't tell you the details. They don't tell you the details. So stats lie. Okay. Look every stat you ever hear about anything, guns or food or
Hold
anything.
on a minute.
Um,
Stats lie. I'm making all these
right.
notes. I'm
So
learning all this stuff.
you need to go and look it up yourself, number one. Number two, then you look at the source of that stat, right? And then you try to look into the details of what they're including. So in this mass shootings stats or killing children, death of children stats, they added 18 and 19-year-olds. They also, when they say children, when you say children, what do you think the oldest age for a child is?
9, 10,
Yeah,
maybe.
12, maybe, tops. As
Yeah.
soon as you become a teenager, we think of
Right.
you as a teenager now, right? So
Right.
they include all the teen violence, all the inner city teen violence, okay? So they include all of that. That's so if one gang, some 15-year-old kid shoots another 15-year-old kid in a gang shooting, that's a gun violence against children death count. They'll count that.
That's
Okay.
so
So,
COVID of them. Oh, sorry.
right?
I didn't mean
Yeah.
to
So
try.
if you, right? So stats lie, and people use stats to lie and to deceive. So when you start digging into the stats, you realize, oh my God, like not even close. If you just took 18 and 19-year-olds out of the stats, I think cars surpasses gun deaths. Here's another thing. You want to talk about gun deaths? 65%. Well, sorry, it depends on the year. Somewhere between like 50 to 65%, somewhere in that range. Okay. But more than half are suicides. Okay. More than half
They committed the gun violence against themselves.
against themselves. Okay. So when you see this big number of like this many gun deaths, just cut it in half, throw half of them away. That isn't going to be you, because that's what we think about, right? You think, oh my God, that could be me. No, no, no. Half of them aren't going to be you, unless you're suicidal. But I know I'm not. I know that's without a doubt, that's never going to be me. So that'll never be me. I can throw half those numbers away. That'll never be me. Then there's a huge number that are committed by criminals. Well, that's never going to be me. I'm never going to be a criminal. So you throw all those away. Guess what? I can die a billion other ways before I'll die from
And you
guns.
probably will.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
In fact, I don't know anyone who's died from a gun that wasn't self-inflicted. I know two people who self-inflicted, and no one else. No one else. So stats lie. I mean, it is literally
Another ignorance thing
yeah.
is the statement, we need more gun laws. Like criminals are going to follow gun laws.
Right. Okay. So yes. So yeah, that's a good one. So here's the thing. It is not we need more gun laws. It's this particular gun law, common sense gun law, mind you, is to protect our children. Okay. So SB2 in California, is Senate Bill 2, was to pretty much make it impossible for anybody to carry a concealed weapon, um, even if you're permitted, right? Law-abiding citizens. There's a point, and I'm going to get this number wrong, but I'll be in the right ballpark. It's like 0.3%, 0.3%. Okay. Not even 1%, 0.3% of CCWs have ever are involved in crimes. Point
Point
0.3.
three.
They're literally some of the most law-abiding citizens, right? And California, to protect our children, they always go to that, by the way. Always go to that. You'll hear a gun law thing, and you'll always protect our children.
And
But it basically,
the ignorant people are going, oh yeah, if you can
well,
to
no,
protect
no,
our
no, no.
children.
Look, think of the children. It's always the think of the children. Anytime someone says think of the children, you should really think about what they're trying to pull over they're trying to pull over your eyes, what they're trying to pass, because they're not being logical, and they're not trying to make you safe. They're trying to control. Now, here's my thing. They don't call it gun safety laws, do they? Nope. What do they call it?
Sorry, I was taking a sip of water here.
All right. What
No,
do they
they
call
don't.
it? What's it called?
Gun laws?
No, gun control
Oh,
laws.
gun
It's
control.
not
Yeah.
about
Hate
safety.
that term.
It's about control. That's what they want. They want to control. They're not happy that we have all the guns that we have. They're not happy. They want control. However, every law that's on the books, like, oh, in California, you can't buy certain guns. The police can, private security can. Ex police officers aren't limited, I believe. They can buy whatever they want. Okay. So Governor Newsom, or Governor Nuisance, as I like to call him, his security guys can get any gun that he wants, right? He doesn't carry his own gun. He's got security people that I pay for with my taxes to protect him and his family.
And
They
you
can carry
pay for that
whatever.
gun, by the way, just so you
Right.
know.
Exactly. And they can carry whatever they want. Whatever they want. And judges can carry whatever they want. They make sure that they're protected when they're limiting you. They always have these little clauses in those laws to exempt certain people, and
Are
it's
you
not you.
serious? Judges can
Yeah.
carry any weapon they want?
Judges don't have the same restrictions as yeah.
No wonder the
Okay,
power goes through their head.
hold on. I am only partially sure about that. So the
Okay.
other parts I'm sure of, that I'm not very sure about. So
Okay.
I believe that, but I'm not sure of it. Okay.
All
So
right.
don't trust me on
So
that.
do your
But look
research.
it up. Yeah, look it up on that. But I think that they are. But anyway, but I do know that private security and police officers don't have the same limitations. I do know about that. And so it is about it. It's always about the emotion. They're always appealing to your emotion. I don't want children shot. Holy shit. No, God, that's awful. Right? That's why I want to carry a weapon, is to protect me and others, right? I don't know if I will do that. I know I'll protect me. I know I'll protect my family. I don't know how far I'll go to protect people I don't know, honestly, until it happens. It's really easy to say, "Oh yeah, I'll be a hero," but you know, if your life is in danger, you have you have a duty to your family, right? If you go saving strangers and you get killed, then you've let your family down. So yeah, I don't know about that part, but I don't want kids. I don't want to ever worry about that. I think that's terrible, right? Um, uh, we didn't have the gun laws we have today when we were kids, and kids didn't go to school shooting. We have a different problem. We don't have a gun problem. We don't need more laws, right? We already have a law. It's called the law against murder. Okay. If that isn't working, no other laws on top of it are going to work.
I
Sorry.
totally agree. Totally.
Right. So that's the problem that everybody thinks, oh, these gun laws. Yeah, we need to ban this and ban that. And it's not going to work. Doesn't work. Okay. So the other thing, it's so easy for people to get a gun. Oh my God, that can be further from the truth. they have to run a background check on you before they can sell you a gun legally. Okay, legally. Yes, it is easy to get a gun. It's super easy in this country to get a gun. Illegally. If you want to be a criminal, they get right to the front line. They can get their gun in a matter of minutes. They got the cash. Minutes.
I literally, not to take you off track, hang on to that. I literally watched a show where guys like, I need to get a gun. So he went and goes, where's the local drug dealer? Beat him up and took his gun.
Oh, I saw that show. What was that show?
Reacher.
Yeah, it was hilarious, dude. He needed a gun right away. He didn't go to the store. He went and beat up the local drug dealer.
Took his gun, threw the drugs in the drain.
Yep, that was awesome.
Great.
That was
he
awesome.
had a gun like in
this is the only way you're going to get a gun fast. That's the only way is to get it legally. So, so here's what it is in California. Okay, it's so ridiculous. You have to take a safety test, right? Which I'm all for. I'm totally for. If you don't know the safety rules, why are we letting you operate this thing? So yes, I'm cool with that because that's not hard. Then you have to have a background check. I'm for that. I'm totally for that. I don't want the wrong people. And what I mean by the wrong people is I don't want people who are felons, who have committed armed robbery or have murdered someone. I don't want those people. Okay? I don't want those people getting guns. I'm not for red flag laws at all because red flag just says, you haven't committed any crime, but you might. And you fit the demographic that might. So we're not going to let you have a gun. Yeah, that's totally unconstitutional. So I'm not for that. So you have to do those two things, right? Background check and safety. And the third thing is you have to wait 10 days. Okay? Why? Why do you wait 10 days?
In California? Because like I can walk in and
I know.
a donut,
don't rub my nose in it.
I can buy a Coke and I can buy a Glock with all this ammo and walk out.
Anyway, why do I have to wait 10 days?
I don't know why.
People are stupid. It's called a cooling off period. Okay, so imagine this is a totally imagined scenario that someone's like angry. Oh, my neighbor, guy, I've had it with him. I'm gonna kill him. And they drive down to this gun store. They get a gun. They drive back and they shoot their neighbor. Okay, that's what the cooling off period is for. Or shoot their wife or their husband or the dog or whatever. They're going to commit violence because now that's the idea. The idea is that you're so angry, you're going to go do that.
Wait. So I've seen you angry for 11 days. Sorry.
Well, yeah, that's true. So, so here's the thing. Here's the thing that doesn't make sense. And this is the problem with these kinds of laws. I own a gun right now. Okay. I have one gun. I want to go buy another gun. Guess what I have to do? I have to wait 10 days, even though I own a gun. Why? Oh, for cooling off. Yeah, because when I get angry, I only want to shoot people with a new gun.
That's too funny. That's too funny.
How dumb is that law and that whole system? Because they don't think. People who are coming up with these laws, they don't think through. So here's the thing. The people who are coming up with the laws are basically one of two things. They're just ignorant and they're stupid. Stupid in that they're too lazy to think through the possible ramifications of their dumbass law. Okay? So that's the stupid part. Or number two, they're evil. They want to take your guns away from you. And so they're just going to chip away at your Second Amendment rights. Okay? They're one of two things. That's all it is. That's all it is. But people like the public, they totally back this. Oh, it's a good thing. Yeah, we should have a waiting period, cooling off. Yeah. And we don't even think about it. I was that guy. I was that idiot. Okay.
Wait, have you ever been mad and needed 10 days to cool off? Serious?
No.
It seems a little over the top there.
Yeah. Right.
This is
2 days, 3 days, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's like they just picked some random value. 10. Look, if we counted base 8, they would have picked 8. It's just a number that seems big, right? It's 2 digits. So the thing is if you have a gun.
That's funny. Sorry, that's funnier than anybody knows. It's 2 digits.
So if you have a gun, if you already have a gun, then you shouldn't have any waiting period. There's no benefit to a waiting period for you, because I can just go get my gun if I'm really mad and I'm going to do something terrible and stupid. I just get the gun I got and do some horrific act with that gun. I don't need a new gun. So here's the thing. You have to ask yourself, are the people who come up with these laws stupid, or are they evil? Okay? Are they just trying to keep guns,
They're
getting
evil.
a gun hard?
They're not
They're
stupid.
both.
They know
Both.
exactly what they're doing.
Well, certain people do, and I think other people are just idiots. They're just idiots. They don't think through the ramifications of what they're doing. Typical lawmakers, there ought to be a law, and they get all angry, and they get all emotional, and they're not logical, and they come up with these stupid laws. So, no, it is not easy to get a gun. It is a pain in the ass, and you have to jump through a bunch of hoops. And even in California, you have to go through a background check every time you buy ammo. Really? I could pack my own ammo, by the way. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. What are you
What'd you
guys
say?
doing about it? I know you guys have been fighting for quite a while.
Well, I'm not doing anything, but I mean, they're the California Rifle and Pistol Association, the CRPA. They fight all the time. So the best I can do is just support them by donating and things like that. So that's on my to-do list, by the way, is to support pick an organization, probably the CRPA for me, and donate to them.
I'm sorry, we don't
So,
have. Do we have CRPA in Tennessee?
well, since C
Is
stands for
it?
California,
Oh,
no.
no. Okay, what is CRPA or whatever?
California Rifle and Pistol Association.
What is
That's what's
CRAP?
crap.
There we go. It's the same
so
thing.
so there's all these restrictions, and they're trying to make it harder and harder, and they're trying to make it so that they're fighting SB2 in the courts to keep CCW permit holders from actually exercising their right. I shouldn't even have to get a permit, honestly. I believe in constitutional carry, not permitted. Like the government's permitting. Oh, now you're permitted. Look, it's a right. The Supreme Court said that the state cannot keep any citizen, any law-abiding citizen who's a felon and so forth, from exercising that right. So they have to give you the permit, but they just make you jump through all these hoops. Well, how is jumping through hoops going to make a difference? If I'm a criminal, I'm not going to get a permit. I'm not going to get a permit. It's all stupid. They're just doing whatever they can. They're just slowly eroding. So
And you're still
that's their
living there.
goal.
Why?
Don't even go there.
I'm sorry. I just thought
Because
I'd get a
I'm
little
married.
jab.
Because I'm married. That's why.
So
So
you fly
anyway,
out once a year for a little freedom.
well, anyway, no, I mean, what do you mean I'm fly out once a year? What are you talking about?
I said you fly out to go visit people for some freedom because you're
No,
in California.
no. Yeah, look, you can get a gun in California. It's a big pain in the ass. You can't get any of the new guns. So any new improved, safer guns, we're using guns from 20 years ago. Okay. It's like being in Russia, right? It's literally like being in Russia, where they didn't have, their technology was so far behind ours. Actually, Russians had pretty good guns. But anyway, maybe guns are probably a bad example. But that idea of where, the technology didn't advance, you were stuck with older tech. That's where we're at in California. Is it making us safer? No, not even in the slightest. Do you magazine limits? Oh, you can only have X number of bullets. Do you think that criminals are going to abide by that magazine law? Hell no. They're not even close to that. They're not going to abide by that law.
They're walking around with big 100 bullet barrels.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen online, the barrel mags, you just jam them into the gun. You got, 100 rounds there, or 30, or the 30 in the handgun.
Yep.
I mean, they got all that stuff. All the criminals have all the guns, and
We
they
get
have
all the good stuff in
we
Tennessee.
get nothing. We get nothing as
And we get
law-abiding
whiskey, which
citizens.
goes great with guns.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What is what whiskey? You can't get whiskey in California. I don't know. I don't drink.
No, we make whiskey out here. We get
Oh, make
Jack
it.
Daniels.
Got it. Got it. So anyway, so there's a lot of ignorance involving guns. There's a lot of I'm still learning. So take everything I just said, everything with a grain of salt. Check all my numbers. I mean, my memory could fail me. I'm not trying to deceive anybody here, but but my memory can fail me. My numbers might be off a little bit. The gist of what I'm saying, I think, is pretty on point and pretty accurate, except for that thing on the judges. But don't trust anybody. I mean, go do your own research. Go look into it. Listen to a bunch of different people as to what they say about different things. There's plenty on YouTube. There's so much information on YouTube from different people. You can learn all kinds of things about your rights. You can learn about 911. You can learn about all the things that I said that you thought and maybe disagree with me on. And, instead of just saying, oh, this guy's an idiot, he's wrong, prove it. Go look it up. Go find it. And make sure you know where what source you're listening to. Don't just go to, CNN or listen to, some liberal position. Listen to a conservative position as well. Don't just, or if you're only listening to conservative, go listen to the liberal side, right? Try to get a more rounded view of the situation. And, that's all I can say is just that's all you can do is educate yourself. I might be wrong on some things that I've said. I might have heard wrong. I may be spouting something that someone told me and they were wrong.
Trust me, if you're wrong, they'll let you know. They'll let you know. Because
Well,
we're always under a microscope.
Even if I'm not wrong, they'll let me know I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So the thing is that this is what I know at this moment in time. I could be wrong about certain things. I will learn even more moving forward. But take it with a grain of salt and go figure it out for yourself. But I can tell you this, the 911 thing, that was a big eye opener for me. It was like, oh my God, the thing that was my backup. It's like you had a backup parachute, right? So you've been jumping out of planes your whole life, and you had a backup parachute. You thought you had a backup parachute. And then you find out you don't have a backup parachute. How do you feel about that? It's scary.
I don't know. Pretty crazy.
It's scary, right? It's scary.
That 911 fact was way crazy.
Right.
Way crazy.
Right. Exactly. So anyway, that's kind of it. That's sort of the big eye opener for me in guns is how wrong I was about them. And I, and I'm glad that I know better, and I'm glad that I'm acquiring them for different uses. But mostly started off as defense, and first, and then second was hunting. So food, to be able to get food if I ever needed it, and then to be able to secure that food.
Now, can you hunt in California? I'm curious.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, there's not. I mean, where are you going? There's not. I mean, where I live, there's not much hunting here. I mean, you have to go
up to the mountains.
Yeah, you have to go a ways. I mean, it's all desert.
But it is legal in California.
Oh yeah, of course. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And by the way, there's an 8-hour hunting course that also covers safety. Very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable.
I took one.
Good stuff.
There's an online course. An online course you're talking about. Yeah. I took a course with the training company that I get trained by. So I took a course there.
So now real quick, are we going to a part 3? Is there more to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, I think this is kind of covered sort of guns in general.
Okay.
I don't think there's a part 3.
If we come up with something, we'll throw a part 3 on.
Yeah.
If not, we'll move on to another topic.
Or we'll do it. Yeah. Or we'll do this topic again when something comes up of note. But this is sort of like intro
and hopefully it's
to
good
guns,
news.
Of what you don't know about guns, what you think about guns, and then sort of the beginning was sort of, how did I get here? How did I even think that, oh, I need a gun? Why do I need a gun? What are the different uses for the gun? It's like anything else. You have tools in your garage. Do you use them all the time? No.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, people regret not having a gun when it's already too late.
Oh, yeah. So here's the thing. I'm going to talk about regret. Okay. I will say this, and I believe that this is true. I don't have any facts to this, but this is just a pure belief that no one ever regretted not having a gun. I mean, everyone regrets not having a gun when they needed it. but no one regrets having a gun when they needed it. I think I can safely say that that's the
Oh, you
case.
know what? That's good.
Yeah.
So nobody sat there with a gun and said, I totally regret buying this.
When you
I've
need it, when you need it,
Yeah, well,
right?
I've never heard
No
it
one's
even when you
ever
don't need it.
regretted, right? No one's ever regretted buying a gun when they needed it, but everyone has regretted not buying a gun when they needed it. That would be my statement.
Well,
It's
I have to tell you,
pretty
I
fair.
appreciate you sharing it from a California aspect because it's way different where you're at than where I'm at. And I
Yeah.
could just spout gun stuff and nobody would listen. But coming from a person who used to believe kind of the other way morally, now it's brought light onto a lot of areas. So I
Well, let me
just
tell you
want
this. Oh, you're welcome. Let me tell you this one thing that is the best kept secret in California.
yeah.
Way more people in California have guns than you would ever imagine, and no one talks about it. That was the weird thing. So I'm at the gym and I'm talking to one guy about guns because he's doing the tactical games. Okay, and the tactical games is sort of like the Spartan challenge thing that I did. You know, it's a competition and or a challenge, however you want to look at it, and it's pistol and rifles. Okay, and so he uses an AR-15 for the rifle, and he uses a pistol for like a Glock or a Sig for his for the pistol. We were just talking about guns, and then another guy walks up, hears us talking, and he's talking. He's got a gun. Another guy walks up. He starts talking. Like we're in the middle of the gym. We're not. There's no one around hardly. But all of a sudden, four of us are all talking about guns, and we all have them, and we're all talking about them in general. And I'm like, holy moly! My whole life, I never heard anybody talk about guns. I talk about things
Okay,
all the
so
time.
just quick
No
question.
one talks about it.
What's the percentage you think you think
I
opinion
already
only?
know. I already know the
Oh, what
percent.
is it?
The stats are, and once again, look
And
these up,
stats lie.
but 50, yeah, and they lie. No, 52%. It just, I believe these are completely credible stats because there's no real benefit to anyone who's trying to dupe you. 52% of all households in the United States now own guns. And I think this number, so take this with a grain of salt. I think it's up to more like 40 some odd percent of Democrats have guns, own guns now. I think it's that high.
Okay. That's a whole nother can of worms. Not going
Yeah.
there.
But
But
the point is that it's the
wow.
best kept secret is that how many people have guns. Like when I decided I was going to get my gun, I found out, oh, my one friend has a gun. He and his buddies go shooting at the thing. Who'd have ever guessed? And then, oh, he's getting his CCW. And then, oh, then the neighbor across the street from me, you know, he's becoming a shotgun instructor, right? And he's gone hunting, and he's like, oh yeah, I got a bunch of wild boar meat. Yeah, you want some? Come over. I'll give you some. I'm like, all of a sudden you're like, everyone
Have
has a
you
gun.
have you
I'm like
had
the
boar
last person
meat?
on the planet.
Hey,
No,
did
I
you get
haven't had it
any
yet.
yet?
Is it good? Is it good yet?
I
No,
don't
I haven't.
know. Never
Is it
had it.
good?
No.
Yeah,
I hear it's
I'll let you
good.
know.
I hear
I want to
elk's the
ultimately.
best.
That's what it. Yeah, I want to get an AR and go wild boar hunting. That's why I want the AR. But anyway, so but then it's like I feel like I'm the last person on my block to get a gun. Everyone else has a gun. Everyone's all hush hush about it. No one talks about it, and you find out all these people have guns. You're like, oh, you have a gun? Oh yeah, I've got three guns. Oh, you got you got a gun? Like all of a sudden, everybody I know has a gun. I'm like, what? Why didn't anybody tell me? How did I miss the memo?
It's that West Coast. That's why.
It's yeah, it's California. People don't talk about it. People don't. But remember Otis? He had what? How many guns did he have in the closet when we were
I
kids?
didn't know until after he moved out that he
Yeah,
had guns. He
yeah. But
had
there were
like
guns in the closet. Like
three
I don't even
pistols
remember
and two
a
rifles or
couple
something like that.
rifles. Yeah, some old. They were old guns
Crazy.
too. They were old guns. But
Oh,
yeah,
by
I
the way,
mean,
everybody, Otis is our stepfather, so just
yeah,
to
yeah.
shed some light on that.
So anyway, so yeah, yeah. It's the best kept secret, dude. Way more people here have them. So anyway, that's
All
all.
right. So new topic next week. And if there's some more information you want to cover, we can discuss part 3.
Yeah, all right.
We'll talk about
Sounds
it off
good.
camera. Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye.
Bye.